That puppy. You waking up? You waking up? Here's part of it. Oh. He keeps his head over here by the heater. Oh my goodness. Oh, there's somebody boogieing out. I gotta show y'all what we've been waking up to for about the last week plus. This is dew. This is all dew. So, like the first morning it happened, I'm like, it didn't rain last night, did it? And I've talked with all my friends and they're all like the same way. Like the first couple days we're like, is it raining every night? But it's not. It's just dew. It's everywhere and thick from all the rain. Incredible amount of moisture out here. Everything is just covered in liquid. Like the first couple of mornings, I mean, there's a lot of dew out here right now, but the first couple of mornings, there were big puddles in all of the chairs out here. So it's starting to, you know, it hasn't rained in at least a week now, so it's starting to dry up. And oh, you can see we got it up the other day. 2 days ago? Yeah, 2 days ago. Had like 9 guys over there. It was pretty funny.
Tony, why don't you do that? Let Tony, you want to hold the flag?
Okay. Make sure it's straight when I get up to the top.
Oh, we just don't want it to hit the ground.
Okay. Ready?
You got the base on?
No, the base goes on after we go up.
I guess he wants to pick it up after he gets it in.
Yeah, that's right, because we don't want to crack it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. So I'd have to be with straight up, face on, straight down.
go. Be gone.
We ready? Go. All right. Up.
There we go.
Back.
Oh my God. Enjoying the grass. Look at all this. This looks like actual, some kind of real grass maybe. Nah, not really. It's like little pine trees almost, like saplings. Sure does look nice though. Yeah. Hi everyone. It's been a while since we've started a season down here with this much moisture. You know, we've ended seasons with a lot of moisture, but having it at the beginning of our visit down here, this is interesting. Really, every morning like this, it's like the ground is nice and moist and like it rained, but like I said, it's all this dew. This way. Come on. Come on. Come on. There you go. Alright, so I didn't know if I was going to point the camera at me or not to talk to y'all, because I haven't been looking too good lately. So I ended up in the hospital. I had an allergic reaction to something that I broke out in hives, fever. So the last video I released, that day I was starting to not feel well. And I thought I just had a cold coming on, like, you know, like the evening before that, I had like when you've got a head cold, for me anyways, you always wake up in the morning feeling like crap, then it subsides during the day, and then it comes back in the evening, you know. And so the evening before my last video, I felt that way, took 2 Advil and, you know, went to bed and didn't think about it. And the next day I was putting the video together and I just wasn't feeling right. And went to bed that night, woke up 1, 2 a.m. Oh, come on, back this way. Come on. Come on. This is the area where somebody had a dog. Come on. Woke up about 1, 2 a.m. really not feeling good. Really hot head, fever. You know, and that of course got me up. I took some Advil. I'm sitting there in the bed, just like watching video, not feeling great. Like, oh good, you know. Not really super concerned about it, but just not feeling good. And at some point I like rubbed my hand, like rubbed my head and back on my neck, and I felt these bumps on my neck in the back. And sometimes, you know, like prickly heat rash, I've gotten that many times. You know, if I haven't been out in the sun in a long time and then I'm out in the sun, I can get like a 1-day little red bumps and then it just goes away. And I thought that's what it was, you know, so not really concerned. And then by the hour, it got worse and worse and worse. And so now I've got the bed put up and I'm sitting in the chair and it's, you know, mid-morning, and at some point I like notice on my arms that I've got all these red spots popping up. Hold on. That I had all these red spots popping up, and I pulled my shorts up and it's on my legs, and I'm like, what the, you know, what is this? And by noon, it's all over me, all over my trunk, my thighs, my butt. So I'm like, I got to go to the doctor. I don't know what this is, you know. So, you know, mind you, the truck hadn't moved in 3 or 4 weeks. You know, I don't really go into town. I go into town for groceries, either with friends or whatever it might be, but hadn't driven the truck in a while, so I had to throw it into shape. Not feeling good, you know, feeling really pasty and like no energy, just really not feeling good. And got us together, and you know, and the hospital is in Parker, which is 30 miles from our camp. So I drove us up there, and Lefty and me, and I go inside. 4.5, 5 hours I'm in there. I got the sense that maybe there was no doctor on staff. And then when, you know, shift change, maybe 3:30, then some action started happening. And, you know, they had come in and asked me all these questions. Have you changed laundry detergent? And, you know, all these questions. And I'm like, nope. You know, I really haven't, you know, haven't eaten anything odd. You know, the only thing different, and I keep saying to my friend Joe, he cooked me breakfast one day, he made breakfast for us, and he had eggs that are right from his chickens that he has back at home. And, you know, I kept saying that to him, kind of busting his butt, you know, like his eggs did this to me, but, you know, I don't think so. So finally at like 4:30, a doctor comes in, and within, you know, 30 seconds of looking at me, he says, this is a reaction. It looks like a reaction to something you've ingested, a drug reaction, something like that. You know, asking me again, what medications am I taking? And, you know, and I had already given him all of this information earlier. I do take a prescription that's for psoriasis, and come on, left. And it's one that I've been on. Well, I've been on the same prescription. It's an injectable, like one of those EpiPen kind of things, for like 10 years. I've been using it every 2 weeks. Had to, you know, inject myself in my stomach or my thigh. But just this past visit to New York, my doctor was able to get me approved for a new drug, very similar to the one that I was on, but it's like an extended release version. So instead of having to do it every 2 weeks, it's once every 3 months. So way better, you know, as far as, you know, I never liked popping myself with those pens. Come here. Let's get out of this brush. Come here. How'd we get so far off track? We gotta get out of this area. So, oh, we got so far off track here. Hold on, buddy. Hold on. We are way up in the rocks here. Come here. So, and I had told them that at the hospital, that just before we left New York was when I switched to this new medication. And you do it as a starter. You do 2 doses. You do one, and then you do one 2 weeks later, and then you're on the every 3 months. So I had done the 2 starter doses. This way. I did the 2 starter doses back in New York, and then my next 3-month spaced one is coming up here in December. And, you know, I'm kind of thinking, because it's very similar to the last drug I was using. And, you know, my dermatologist, you know, I don't think they would have given me something that was crazily different, knowing that because they know that I leave town and come in there once a year just to basically get my prescription renewed. Never had any side effects from the other one. And this one is, again, very similar, just extended release, I'm guessing, that lets it last 3 months. Well, I'm wondering, could that extended release thing is what's causing this to happen to me? So, you know, now this is happening. It's Thanksgiving. They're closed. They're closed Friday. So they have a messaging system. So I sent them a message and a picture of my the abysmal way I look with all these hives and stuff on me. And I asked about, could it be the new medication that you have me on doing this? And again, I really don't think it is, but come on. But so I'm making sure that I talk to my doctor on Monday just to be sure, because so when I was at the hospital, what they did, let me back up a little. They shot me with a steroid shot in my shoulder, which did not feel great. For like 4 hours, my shoulder was killing me. And they gave me a prescription for, it's a 6-day course of steroid pills, which none of the pharmacies had in stock in Parker. So I had to wait till the next day till one of them got it in stock, and drive back to Parker the next day, pick it up. One nurse told me, try not to take it towards bedtime, it can keep you awake. So the steroid shot they gave me at the hospital, whatever it was, I didn't sleep that night. I mean, not a minute. And remember, the night before, I'd woken up at 1 a.m. after only like 3 hours of sleep. Didn't sleep after they injected me. Got the prescription. Didn't sleep that night. Not a minute. And so by now, you know, like, my friends are coming to visit me, and they're like, you look white as a ghost, man. And not really feeling good. And also, it tied my stomach in a knot. And I wasn't able to get any food in me. And of course, I gotta pause video. Sorry about that. So I'm not sleeping, having a really hard time eating. I had to force myself to put food in my stomach to take the steroid, because it said take with food, and I knew it would probably ruin my stomach even worse. So I was not in good condition. And then finally, with that 2 nights of no sleep, 1 night of 3 hours of sleep, finally was sitting there. It was like 6:30 or 7 p.m. Felt myself starting to doze off in the chair, so I quick set the bed up, was able to crawl into bed and get some sleep. And then the next night before last, 8 solid hours of sleep. So I think my body got used to those pills. It wasn't keeping me awake anymore. But so the rash, whatever you want to call it, hives, you know, all the bumps have gone, but I've got all these red blotchy things that have been left behind. And I've got, I think, 2 more days of the steroid tablets. So I want to see what I look like at the end of that course. And I really hope to gosh that this can get resolved. You know, of course, the doctor in the hospital is like, you know, go to your primary care physician and follow up. And of course, you know, they're in New York, 2,700 miles from here. So I'm just trying to, you know, I still not at 100%. And during all of this, you know, I had to run into town to get water, to get things that we need to maintain life. And, you know, everybody's like, oh, just let me know, I'll go get stuff for you. And I don't feel like being a pain in somebody's butt, you know, so I just grinded through it and drove into town and got stuff that we needed and got back to camp. And discovered that if I go outside in the sun and start sweating, I start itching like crazy wherever these, mostly on my backside, I guess, where I'm coming in contact with the chair or the bed. But I'm noticing, like right now, that's lessening and lessening. So like 2 days ago, I had to stay totally out of the sun. I couldn't get any bit of sweat started on me because it was just ruining me. So I've basically just been cocooned inside the rig, trying to be comfortable and trying to not be super concerned about what's going on, but it's got me. I've never had anything like this happen to me before in my life, you know. And I think I mentioned that. Oh, and I forget what it was, a couple years ago, I got ill. And I remember saying, you know, I'm almost 60 years old. I've never had this happen to me before. And here I am saying it again. So either my body's falling apart as I get older, or I'm getting exposure to things that I really shouldn't be at this age. I don't know which it is, but you know, I've always been a like never had to go to the doctor kind of person, always healthy. So something is not working like it used to. I don't know. So I'm gonna get inside, get him some breakfast. I've got him a bunch of ground beef that I fried up again, put it in the fridge so he gets a handful of that in his morning breakfast with some hot water poured over it with the kibble. So he'll be happy about that. I do need to get up to the garbage dump. I got a bunch of cardboard to get rid of, and I just wanted to let you all know, because the last video I didn't get on the comments. I just couldn't, and a lot of you have sent emails. I've been really slow trying to get back to replying back to the emails. I apologize for that. You know, each day I'm feeling a little bit better and trying to get back to normal, and I hope it comes sooner than later, because everybody's here and, you know, this is happy time, party time. Yep. Hop in the Chrysler, it seats about 20. Come on and put in your jukebox money. Who knows who that is? Saw them in concert in Rochester, 1980, 81, 82, something like that, on Halloween night. Well, thanks for being here with us. I'm sorry for the sob story, you know. I always seem to get hit with some kind of whack across the head every time we out here on the road, but I'll get it all straightened out. Everyone take care, be safe. We'll see y'all again really soon. Oh, buddy. And he's been really good. He's been giving me some slack and laying inside with me. I know that dogs can smell sickness, so I'm sure he must have been able to smell that I wasn't feeling well, because he spent a couple of days inside with me, just hunkered down sleeping and not really putting much pressure on me to do anything. So I thank him for that. So I've been treating him with all that fresh ground beef in his breakfast. You want some dinners? Okay.